Friday, June 26th. I was just remembering a phrase that some of the guys in my aggressive offender program introduced me to, kind of the urban lingo. Guy would say, "Hey, I'm going through some changes." And that didn't necessarily mean that things were changing for him. It just meant that he was feeling stressed about something. The Book of Changes, the I Ching, is a resource of Chinese spirituality, which I first learned about when I learned about Taoism back in college. I grew up in a local congregation of the United Church of Christ, and that was a very important part of my upbringing. My family was very connected to that local church. But it really didn't acquaint me with spirituality. It wasn't until I really learned about Taoism that I got a sense of the spiritual. And Taoism, if you don't know, is a kind of wisdom tradition from China that sort of balances out the common sense of Confucianism. The teachings of Confucius are really very practical. How do you live your life? The wisdom teaching of Taoism is much more philosophical. And it's a good kind of case example of what I've been trying to talk about in terms of contrasting common sense with wisdom as ways of looking at the world, ways of making sense of what's arising that give us access to different ways of being that are more creative, more dynamic, more transformative. I've been dismayed recently by how many folks I run into who seem to be conflict phobic. The idea of we're going to address this conflict is just like flinch. And as the executive director of the Center for Creative Conflict Resolution, I'm here to tell you that all conflicts can be resolved. We have to be clear about what we mean by a conflict and what we mean by resolution. But there's a creative possibility that lies hidden in every conflicted situation. And so I tell folks, just kind of lean into it, lean into the suck, open yourself up to it. It'll teach you something, and people resist that. And I have been thinking mostly that folks don't trust that, in fact, conflict can be resolved, even though they've had experience of that in their lives. They don't know that this time they're going to be able to resolve it. But one of the things that I've been noticing is that I think another part of it is that people know that if they do actually open themselves up to this conflict and allow it to work with them, and it will transform them. And transformation is a kind of change, and I'm not sure I want to change. I'm kind of happy with things the way they are. No, I'm not happy with things the way they are, but changes, I'm not sure I'm down with that. So one of the images that comes to me from my relationship, tenuous as it is, with the I Ching, is that the philosophy of the I Ching is that what is happening is going to happen. And what it teaches you is not how to stop what's happening, but how to align yourself in your life with what's happening in such a way that it works. You're working with it. You're connected to it. It's moving you. And I think of it in terms of surfing. I mean, I've never used a surfboard, but I body surfed. You don't change the wave. The wave's coming. You can fight it. You can dive through it. Or you can try to align yourself with it in such a way that you catch it. And if you catch the wave, it will carry you along. If you miss the wave, it will smash you into the sand. Well, we got a whole bunch of big waves coming in our society now. We got political discord, we've got climate crisis, we've got pandemic, all this stuff happening. I just want to invite you to be open to what it is that the crises in your life are teaching you, because they're going to happen whether you align with them or not. And if you're open to being transformed, you can make a positive difference in your own life, which will make a positive difference in the world. Hope you have a great day.